Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is going to be a 1v1 between John the Late and K rooijackers on flats here. This is part of the Easter tournament. So this is low inter versus one of the inters here. So we're both playing Republic, and there's a little bit of food on the map, some hunt, a couple of nerfs that they can eat, and the map is flats. So being flats, there's a lot of gaps here in the map that players can utilise to make walls with prefab shelters or their tech buildings and try and maybe cheese out a tech level 3. You can probably get like maybe 2 prefabs there, a couple of prefabs here. It's not like a huge investment and nothing really out of the ordinary in terms of the walls that you might build around your carbon in a normal, more open map. So I'm going to speed it up just to make it through the early game, because we all know what happens there, just people building workers and finding food. So as I said, there's a little bit of food on this map, a couple of flumps. I think there's 3 flumps that the players can lure, 2 nerfs that they can eat in the meantime while they scout everything out. There is the odd like Kadu here and there, but probably not worth it in general. Better to just get some farms really. John just building a prefab shelter inside his carbon line. Not sure about that one. So we're in the flump here, kill that. A lot of workers on carbon and food at the moment for rooijackers. He hasn't really got that sort of 6-to-5 split to get his carbon processed early, like John has here. Which definitely might harm him, because he's going to end up below John's carbon amount by like 200 or so. And it can make things a little bit uncomfortable for you. You might get like a quicker T2 time, but I don't think it like averages out very well. You're just not going to have the resources, you know, when you need them properly. Not really much else to say at the moment, as we just wait for T1 to get cracking. It'll be interesting to see if the players do go for like a rush or they go for the T3. I think is that just one? Yeah, just a 1 prefab wall there. Very cost effective. Maybe a bit of scout shenanigans there from rooijackers. Try to shoot a bantha. Ends up losing his scout completely to the command centre. John getting housed again. Why has he built this troop centre so early when there's no nursery? And I don't know what this weird little wall is around the carbon. It's almost counterintuitive to this map, being how easy you can wall things out. He's just limiting the area where his workers can gather carbon. But I think this troop centre must have been like a mistake or something. And a power core as well. There's not enough food for this. You're not going to like troop or recruit rush all the way across. So this is the right idea, getting the farms, but rooijackers himself is behind in carbon a little bit. So he could be a bit more advanced with these farms. Probably have like 4 more right now. So this could be about 7 farms. I'm not sure that these couple of caddies are going to provide enough. Flump maybe just barely. This all just seems very premature. It could have been gone a little bit later with a more crisp eco. I think that's rooijackers finished this food here. John seems to get housed an awful lot this game. It's maybe like the 3rd time he's been housed. And you see, we're not really using the troop centre. Not much food either. So yeah, and then in the end we have to get some farms, so it seems like a huge misplay to be building this so early. I think it could be so much worse for him if rooijackers is on carbon a little bit earlier. He should be on his way to T2, I would have thought. Yep. So John actually ended up behind in his tech time here, despite having like half the infrastructure up. Hitting the button now as well. So I'm assuming that we're going to T3 here from rooijackers, but I don't really get what's happening at the moment with these prefab shelters, because we seem to be committed to like walling up the gaps here. And there's a very obvious one here. But this just seems too much to be walling. You could maybe tech building here, I suppose. I honestly think it'd be better to just fully commit and wall off the gaps. I think it'd be the smartest thing to do as well when you're in this matchup, like against a stronger player, is just try and get a full wall off and sort of cheese the tech level. Because it's going to give you a lot more options in the game and make it harder for you to just outright die, I think. So that's fine, you could get another tech building here, and then 2 prefabs, and then that looks walled, and then you just need to wall this, and that's it. I mean, these 2 prefabs could have been here. And then with this tech building, that's walled. So any troops will have to go all the way around, and then it gives you time to get this walled off as well. We can see the troops are out and moving across the map. It's all up to rooijackers to actually wall things out quickly enough. Look at his monies. You can sort of get in there. You could just buy food with spaceport and tech up. See how he's ended up with so much Nova. Because he's got 5 on Nova. So he's bought some food, teched up, that's great. But where's the wall? And the troops are coming across and they're going to get in, and these workers are just idle. We've got so much carbon that could be spent walling things. And again, like, where's the prefab? See, it wouldn't take much thought just to place the prefab and then start building this. You can build it a little bit, place the prefab, know it's walled, finish. And I'm not seeing like a drop of turrets either. You can buy ore and just double turret. If he just walks in the carbon line, you're going to lose so many workers. Turrets will be about 60 to 70% by now. So you lose a couple of farm workers, turrets are now up. Carbon workers don't go idle. You don't have to run away. He's built a nursery, so he's going to make Mounties, I think. Try to just contest this TP. So strike my execute. There's a lot of troopers and he's left the Nova workers out. Carbon workers are idle. There's like a lot of damage to be taken, especially when your opponent's got a lot of farms already anyway, so it's not going to take them too long to actually transition into T3. If you look at the worker counts, 23, 36, it's just a huge difference now. It's like 50% more workers. And then there's a couple of Mounties running up here. It's a great idea from John, because it's going to make things so much more uncomfortable just being on one mech factory here. The micro these around one command centre, repair them. And as more and more Mounties flood in, it's going to get even more difficult. It's going to lose this one here. Let's try to repair it, but because of the minimum range, it's running away from the workers' repair. Goes down. And this other one's got caught up against the forest here. My health, another goes down. Like, that's 3 strike mechs down. And we still don't have any turrets or anything like that. Nothing to fall back on to try to heal people. That's just really unfortunate. You would definitely want an air base to sort of deal with this nonsense, because these units can't look up. Strike mech now is just so harsh. Just sort of getting spawn count out of the Mounties, and more flooding in. And it's going to be a huge critical mass of them. Still a trooper here just shooting at the workers. He says, why did I not wall my base? My thoughts exactly. Unfortunate. So John taking game 1 there, and we'll move into the next one. And this be Tundra, and the ice spawns have been actually very, very generous today. Not wrapping around people, this is how it should be. Instead of wrapping around my base completely, as it usually does. So, Rebel matchup here. A couple of nerfs. It doesn't look like there's any sort of lures there. There's a Jubac. Is there maybe 2 Jubacs? 2 Jubacs. A couple of Cubans. A little bit of food. Some nice EOPs over here. Oh, that's a harsh one. Right behind the carb. So instead of just going like this, we've got to go all the way here. Rough. It's definitely a get basic training job. So again, rooijackers with tons of workers on his food. See if he does it every game, like 8 on food. Yeah. Just not a fan of it for GG. Just don't value that early carbon, I think. Makes all the difference. So John getting his due back here, not the map screw one. That's good. Gonna get an early-ish carbon here for rooijackers now. So these guys are able sending off carbon, that's good. And we're due back. Things are looking good here in terms of the T1. It's all looking stellar. It looks like this lad's off on the epic journey to get this due back. And what a long journey it is. Times I've slapped those all. 3 times so far. 4. 6. 5. But we've been housed during that for Jort. Rough stuff. Let's see how rooijackers is getting on here. Getting solid, probably pulled ahead of the worker there now because of that housing. And he's got these Eopies and he's lucky that these Cupas are like running through here, so maybe he can snipe them as they go past the food processor. They're worth 170. Just keeping an eye on things like this and just try and snipe them. There we go. Nice. Just give you an extra bit of food that you might not necessarily have gotten. Seems like there's a few here, so it'll be worth getting a food processor for as well. There's another one. Get him. And food processor here for John. And that's another early troop center again. And housed again. It's like doing some sort of crazy Age of Empires and imprisoning himself in his own carbon. Which not a fan of with the go-to units being ranged. So it's like a death trap. So again, he seems to be like getting these really early troop centers, thinking he's just gonna get 500 food on the dot and be able to tech up, but he needs farms. It'd just be better to spend this carb on farms earlier. Walling yourself in your carbon and then making the carbon. I'm so confused about these prefabs. Would it just be better placed to wall? Like this. He's been housed again. I've never seen someone get housed so much. Is he drunk or something? Let's see what all this housing has resulted in. He's only one ahead. Oh shit. Attacking. I should be attacking. I think it should be like 20 workers ahead with all these housings. This nerd power core placement, hiding it in the trees. The scout being really annoying, shooting at the workers there. Nothing more annoying than that alert procking up. So troop centre down, power core down for rooijackers. Almost about the same here for John. And look at the attack times. Rooijackers definitely having the better T1. A little bit ahead here. Walling up the power core, I'm not sure that's really so necessary, not being a nursery. I think these prefab shelters are honestly just better walling out your base, like specifically up here, because, I mean, this is a pretty obvious route to just run into your carbon. Yeah, it seems like you're spending a lot of carbon here. If you look at the amount of prefab shelters, and the fact we've only got one troop centre, you know, there's got to be some sort of level priorities. And look at the population as well, 30 out of 65, which means we've got a lot more houses than we actually need at the moment. And if we're going to go out and lose these troopers as well, we're kind of going to want 2 troop centres like John's got here. Actually, the wall is power core in there. That's very cool. Killed a couple of workers here with this early harass, but again, there's going to be a point here where there's just going to be so many troops from John and so little here for rooijackers. And it's almost like he's trying to 1 TC T3 or something, because he's on Nova and he's adding on some more farms, but I'm kind of worried about what he does when he gets counter-attacked, because there's definitely gaps in his base. He hasn't built 2 turrets. He's very likely going to get overrun and then just he's in his carbon line. And you can see the units right now, and there doesn't seem to be any urgency at all to build turrets. Losing these workers just on the Nova. Very late trying to roll things out now. These troopers are going to get stranded. They'll be better over here just in the base at least so they can try and clean things up. You see, if you just add 2 turrets to this and then you've got like a handful of troopers that could go for any of the troopers that try to sit on top of the turrets or anything like that, or deal with the amount that's left over after they suffer some attrition at the hands of the turrets. Just do very, very, very good in that instance. And then in the end, we're just dropping a second troop centre, way behind in troops, lost a lot of workers. Everything's so panicked and not firmly committing to one plan or the other. Very indecisive, and it's definitely costing, and it's just putting all the tempo and control of this game into John's hands here. And yeah, that's a very vulnerable spot, a turret going up here on the carbon line. While he's pinned in here on his base. And there's no way for him to get out here and to lay this down. He's got no control of the area, so the workers can't get over and slap it. See, he's built the turrets now, a bit too wide, because we've got all that handful of troopers at the moment. I should go clean this up. So these should absolutely be this. I mean, this turret's like not the worst thing in the world, you can just carve it. He gets another one up, that's really bad. But again, he shouldn't really be able to do this, because there's no turrets at home, so firmly on the troopers, you know. That's a sentry post. He's not gonna be able to work on the sentry post. Because there's no fear of a counter-attack, basically, John can just sort of do what he wants here. He's got all this vision, sort of map control, and rooijackers just pinned in his base. And we're not even all the way to T3. It's just kind of hopeless here. There seems to be a bunch of fishing going on as well, so the worker deficit's going to be even more dramatic now. As John is just pulling ahead here, and he's got, what, 6? An extra 11 workers. Right, they're just bringing food in from the ocean, the rivers. It's a very good pickup here for rooijackers. There's definitely something he needs. Killing off these troopers, try to walk past the base. And then another turret has gone up here in this spot. So he's knocked off that carbon completely. Maybe those troopers are going to go and sit at this spot, but you kind of want to have your troops waiting at like the most obvious carbon location when you do stuff like this, so you can just get some free kills. You can further delay them a lot more. So it looks like the buildings are down for John, so he should be on his way to T3, I would imagine, with all those extra workers on foot. Yep, a third of the way there, and rooijackers just sort of stranded in T2. Not much farms up at the moment. looking for a little bit of a counter attack, but it's just going to be too late. By the time he gets into like a serious position, it's going to be T3 and making strike mechs, and you can see a little bit of walling going on here as well, which is going to further delay this journey. I have to turn around here, even with the pet Tuscat. Should put the jet back in. Not a lot of space here for air bases. Factory either. Making a lot more troops. Making an animal nursery. I don't know if he's maybe thinking about trying to do a similar thing to what John did last time, but unfortunately the game state is just so much further advanced now, and there's just too many workers. The economy's too big for that. With John now being T3, it's looking a lot very hopeless here for rooijackers. I'm kind of surprised that a lot of troops are always walking around this way. And this side is just so open. It's even an obnoxious hill to stand on as well. Keeps going down the way. Be a nice sort of defense for troops. The heavy troopers coming in. You don't want to go and take a trip with heavy troopers here. 4 plus 3 range versus 3 plus 1. Extra 5 health. It's got armor upgrades as well. These can just sort of micro these units and win quite effectively without taking too much losses. Air coming across here now. It's just going to be too much to be stuck in T2 with a balanced economy. You can see there's 700 sort of card in the food. Just been too much attrition all game, and not being firmly committed to one plan or the other here for rooijackers is definitely costing. Just giving John too easy of a ride here in this match. Yeah, so GG called there. And that'll be the end of that series. So John takes that 2-0. Well played to both players. John takes that one. And we'll get more of these out as I can. There's certainly a lot of games to cast because people have been very enthusiastic getting their games in, so well done on all that. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be another one of these. Take care, bye bye.